who were in that particular environment was Munyoro, Honorable Munyoro, Honorable Methu, and Honorable Nyutu. They're the ones I saw. Now, what we seem to forget is that all of them are UDA MPs. This is a UDA government. This is happening within them, you know, and I know Honorable Nyutu will explain that they're being attacked because they support Rigathi Gachagua. But for me, a much more fundamental question is, these are members of parliament of the ruling party who are being tear-gassed by government. You know, what exactly is going on within UDA? And I was just thinking, as you were speaking, I was just thinking about that based on where we've just come from, on the issue of ODM. And sometimes you want to ask if ODM was in government. Do we imagine there would be tear gas in ODM members of parliament? You see, and part of the challenge we have is a situation where we have this division that has happened within the ruling party. And that division is being pursued with a lot of viciousness and a lot of aggression by both sides. The guys who are within UDA, who are fighting government, are fighting it with a lot of aggression, a lot of viciousness. Government is fighting back at them with the same aggression, the same viciousness. And sometimes, when you don't belong to any of those, you want to just ask yourself exactly what is going on here. You know, what now we're in a situation where a lot of the violence that we are seeing is happening within a structure that we expect should all be working together to help this government perform. So I have listened to Senator Nyutu, and I hope that we will see this case being pursued through the law. We will see the people who actually did what happened. We'll want to hear exactly how did we get here. Why were gunshots? I saw pictures of vehicles with what looked like gunshot with bullets, bullet holes. I think for most Kenyans who don't belong to the government and who don't belong.
Ngunjiri Wambugu, a prominent political analyst and former member of parliament, has voiced deep concerns over the recent police crackdown on UDA politicians during a rally. The incident, which saw uniformed police officers firing tear gas at a sitting MPs allied to the ruling United Democratic Alliance, has sparked a widespread debate and raised questions about the state of internal democracy and political tolerance within the ruling coalition. According to Wambugu, what happened should never have occurred in a country that prides itself on upholding democratic freedom. He emphasized that all Kenyans, including elected leaders, have the constitutional right to hold a peaceful gathering and express their views without fear of intimidation or violence. For him, the fact that UDA MPs, some of whom are part of the very government in power, was subjected to police brutality, which is both ironic and disturbing. He further suggested that the use of force may not have been random. Wambugu believed that the police action could be linked to the ongoing political fallout within the Kenya Kwanza government, particularly tension between President William Ruto in a circle and former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's allies. According to him, the MPs who wore tear gas may have found themselves on the wrong side of internal power struggles, and their association with Gachagua might have made them vulnerable, adding weight to his argument. He described scenes where vehicles were left riddled with what appeared to be bullet holes as a sign that the event may have been more than just a routine dispersal of an authorized gathering. Turning to the opposition politics, Wambugu shared a sharp observation about the Orange Democratic Movement (ODM) and its long survival in Kenya's political space despite not winning the presidency. He argued that ODM, under the leadership of Raila Odinga, has mastered the art of staying close to power without necessarily occupying State House. From the view of the Grand Coalition, with Mwai Kibaki, to the handshake deal with Uhuru Kenyatta, and now with substable access to Ruto's administration, ODM has managed to remain influential while technically being in opposition. Wambugu pointed out that his ability to position itself within government structures, regardless of who holds the presidency, has allowed ODM to maintain its relevance and structure while other parties have collapsed or faded away. With 2027 fast approaching, he noted that ODM is ready reorganizing itself and strategizing on how to remain a key political player in national politics. He also spoke about the party internal discipline and flexibility. He gave an example of Edwin Sifuna, ODM Secretary General, who recently delivered a statement on behalf of the party. According to Wambugu, Sifuna may have had a personal reservation about the message, but refusing to read it could have cost him his position. However, instead of framing this as oppression, Wambugu praised the party for allowing its leaders to speak openly and even challenge certain decisions, only to later fall back in line for the sake of party unity. This, he said, is one of the reasons ODM has remained strong in accommodating internal disagreement while keeping a firm grip on internal central leadership.
Influence government policy. ODM has perfected the art of being able to do that without actually ever winning the presidency. Right? From the day they were established. From 2005, for the 20 years they've been in operation, they've perfected the art of being able to implement, to affect policy. But then they've also affected the art of being able to benefit from every respective government that they've been in. Remember, ODM was formed by people who walked out of Kibaki's government in 2005, right? Went into an election against him in 2007, formed a coalition government with him thereafter, walked into an election in 2013, lost, formed a coalition with Uhuru in a couple of years later, and that's how they have perfected the art of operation. So when you look at the history of ODM, you have to accept that ODM is a very pragmatic, realistic party. We have the theories of what they stand for, and then we have also the history of actually how they operate. And sometimes the theory of what they stand for and the history of how they operate are in conflict. Because yes, it's a mass movement, it's a social democratic party, but then it's the same party that is able to partner with government, and not just with the Ruto government. They've done it with the Kibaki government and with the Uhuru government in a way that enables them to survive and to be relevant and to stay around. Because like yesterday when you listen to Sifuna, as much as I might want to agree with Senator Nyutu and Ishmael, yes, they were speaking, they were trying to mollify the president, they were also trying to mollify their supporters. But the reality is, they have bought another 6 months, right? Or another 3 months before they get into another crisis of people, because they have now made everybody say, oh, okay. So we are going to be here debating about whether what Sifuna said before is his position or what he said yesterday. And we're going to wait for Sifuna for the next 2 months or 3 months to see whether he's going to beat the government.
Do you think he'll stick to what he read yesterday? Or
he has to, because if he doesn't, you see what was happening, and this